Check 1, 2. Hey, what's up, Astronomical Misfit? Misty World, hey, Ramon, Martell, what's up, bud? Y'all come on in and let me get adjusted here. Hey, hey, hey. Come on. All right, what's up, Shondell, Vincent, Ringmaster 09? Thank you. I'm gonna be a little quiet for a minute. I'm waiting for the room to get a little more fuller. Hey, what's up, fam? And while y'all wait, I want you guys to think about or share with us whatever you feel free to share. I'm going to make this one about you guys, what's on your mind, what you want to vent and get off your chest or talk about. What's up, Top Dog X from England? What's up? P Evolution, welcome. Can y'all hear me? Hit one if you can hear me. The Mandela Effect. Okay, that's a topic. But I want you guys to share with me what your thoughts are on these matters, and then I'll kind of jump in and good, you can hear me. I'll just kind of chime in and share my thoughts where I feel it's needed or answer your questions. Good, everybody can hear me. Okay. I'm going to Facebook and trying to get my support system there, trying to get them involved as well. How often do you guys get a notification that I'm uploading a video? Do you get it consistently, or is it hit or miss? Hey, Lily of God, welcome. Michio Vantaz. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Bobby, welcome. The fonts on this thing is really small and I'm looking at it from a distance. If I miss your question or miss your tag name, please forgive me, especially as they come in faster. Everyone wants to donate to me, but it's so difficult. Um, why is it difficult? I have a PO box now where if people want to send donations directly to my PO box, if you don't want to do it online, which I understand, I have two different PayPal accounts, and I just added an AdSense. Not an AdSense. What you call it? Cash App at the request of another loyal viewer. I diversified the way in which you guys can get a donation to me. If there's still an issue, obviously it's not on my end. And I appreciate all of the donations and all of the loyal and continued support. It really makes a difference because you guys know, though some of us are being cheated and marginalized and blocked from, earning our own money from our own content. I don't monetize all of my videos, but I do monetize some of them. And of course, if my videos are not being shared and they're not being exposed, it trickles down to how much money that I can make. And I always take the money and I reinvest in what I'm doing. My website costs to put up. I often hire people to do things. And then I also donate to others who I know for a fact are being marginalized, whereby the system is making it very difficult for us. But you see all these other people flourishing with no problem, so you got to ask yourself, why do they target some and don't bother others and make sure others are comfortable and they go out of their way to make sure the rest of us don't get anything? What's up, CR Camp? Everyone, let me see. I just looked up and you were live. Yes. I think this is my first time seeing you here, Lily of God. Isn't it? If my memory serves me correctly. CRC, welcome. Can you guys see me well? Hit two if you can see me well. You're trying to exercise and listen to the video at the same time. I understand some of us like to do multiple things while we focus on others. That means you have a very advanced way of processing information. Good, good. You guys can see me. It looks like the video is delayed though. They had the delay time. I guess that's there so that if I say something they don't want out there, they can interrupt. I like doing the live, but I also realize that the live is one of the best ways to block certain things from being recorded because it's being recorded in real time. It's going straight to the YouTube servers. So they can, if they want to control the narrative, some of my other live feeds, you guys have noticed that a lot of really good information that I've shared didn't get captured. And how convenient. Talk a little bit about manifesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead. Let me start off with the Mandela Effect. I believe it was Vincent who brought that one up. Vincent, in what way do you want to talk about it? I'm going to let you lead, and then I'm going to follow your lead, and then we're going to talk about manifestation. I'm going to let you guys lead. This is about you guys, not so much about me. Like I said, I'm going to give my feedback because you're asking, but I really wanted it to be about you guys. And I'll read what you type so that for so it's easier for everybody. There's always there's always a 3 to 5 second delay. Okay, I didn't know that. This live thing is still relatively new for me. Andrew, welcome. What's up, bud? Some of you guys, I have offline relationships. I formed an offline relationship with you guys, and I would like to have more. But it's all about consistency and those that I see who are really willing to do the extra work and reach out to me. I can't give everybody the equal time and attention and focus as I would like, but I do. If you make a concerted effort to reach out to me and I see that you're genuine, I will respond to you. And the guys here, they will vouch for that. There are not that many people up here who will reach out and interact and give advice and share information for free. There's just not many of them. So I'm one of those people. I've always been that way, 11 years of being consistent with that. And that's not going to change. However, I have had to make changes over the years because I saw that there were also people who were taking my kindness and my giving of myself, taking it for granted. And when I cut the what's the word I'm looking for? When I took control of the situation and made it known that this is not a situation where I'm going to allow myself to be basically drain the life out of me. These people would then go online and start writing negative things about me. It's always that way when people feel like they can't either control you or control the narrative or get what they want out of you. So those of you guys who I still have a relationship with to this day, you know you've done it right. I've never felt that you were taking advantage of me or abusing this situation. Or there are some moles who think that I don't know they're moles, acting like they need help. Okay, so I'm a pretty good reader and a pretty good judge of character. I'm not on point 100% of the time, but I'm on point a lot of the times. I would say most of the time. And when I am off, it's because there's something going on around me where my energy is off, or my head is in a place where I'm out of balance some kind of way. Okay, where am I? Okay, what's up? What's up? There's always three. I have something to share about an experience from 4 years ago. Okay, that's going to be the third talking point. We want to hear that from you. I'm taking the topic of discussion or question in the order in which they were received. It's only fair, right? Vincent, many think that the man in the high castle in the High Castle franchise is very much related to the Mandela Effect. I haven't heard about that. You have to tell us a little more about that. People are sinister. They are. A lot of selfish people out there. Yeah, I've learned a lot. I was thinking about doing a video, but I may upload it to my website, my personal website. My experience being a YouTuber, and for me, it wasn't just being a YouTuber. It was also being someone who carved a lane that was very taboo and very different. So there was extra that came along with it. So I was not only dealing with the typical stuff that YouTubers deal with, but I was also dealing with stuff that most don't, because now you have the entire system looking at you and doing things and trying to thwart what it is that you're saying and doing. So that made it even more difficult and challenging for me. But guess what? Like I keep saying, I'm still here. I don't look ran down, do I? I don't look worn out. That's when you have righteous forces in your corner. And I'm telling you, when you do right and you live a righteous life, not perfect, because I'm not perfect. Nobody on this planet ever will be, as long as we're in the fleshly form. But when you do right, I'm telling you, the universe will align in your favor, even if there are setbacks, even if there are tremendous challenges being thrown in your way. You're going to be all right. Take my word for it. Hey, ABB, can you please speak about 53? Hold on. Let me get my reading glasses, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to have to readjust because I'm farsighted. I don't know why they make these fonts so small. Let me see if I can. Okay, the bigger I make the window, I have to make the video smaller so that I can see the writing clear. Okay, hey ABB, can you please speak about 5G? I think it affects us globally, thinking in terms of frequency, vibration, and energy. And I think you said this also. Yes, I actually do have a video coming out about 5G. And everything you said is absolutely right. But we're also building an immunity. Some people will not be able to handle these frequencies and vibrations, but there are those of us who are built and having a DNA activation where we will be just fine. So, since there are other questions that I know that I'm not going to be doing a video on, I'm going to focus on those, or the topic of conversation. I'm going to focus on those, and I will share my thoughts in the 5G video that I have coming up. So be looking out for that. I'm going to address that. This indeed, yes, the man in the high castle is about an alternate universe where Japan and Germany had won in World War II, and many assume that the Mandela Effect is a offspring of the two universes connecting. I don't know about that, but what I can tell you for a fact, and I blogged about it, and this supports what I've been telling you guys for years. What we perceive to be as a fixed, solid world is not at all solid like we think. This is how these things happen. We are existing beyond what we see. It's really hard for people to grasp this, and I'm telling you from what I remember and what I experienced. Everything that we see here are just a bunch of very small particles and electrons and neurons stacked on top of each other, vibrating at different frequencies, and that's giving us the illusion of solidity and even what we perceive to be time. It's ordered and fashioned in a way where it looks very fixed and solid, and that there's nothing else beyond this. But I'm telling you, that's the illusion, right? So what is essentially happening is that there are different versions of us, that's multiplied or replicated throughout different timelines, different dimensions, just as everything else that we see here. But there are variations that happens within each of those timelines and dimensions and frequencies. And what's happening is that our mind consciousness is what's shifting. It's not the physicality and what we see around us. It's our mind. It's our mind perception that's flipping and switching from one vessel, dimension, timeline to another. So for those who understand and know how this stuff works, they have technology that can basically shift and move us based on the frequency and vibration we are on, and different parallel versions of ourselves, and they can make them flip and move them around. It's kind of like playing chess. They can move. It's like playing multi-dimensional chess. They can literally move different timelines and dimensions and frequencies and overlay or take a fragment out of one layer and have it overlap into another. And so the mind will perceive it as a fluid event, but when you go back and look at it and compare the notes, or you look at something that may capture, like a video camera or whatever, here's where you will start catching these inconsistencies. And it seems supernatural and even impossible in the mind of a lot of people. But when you truly see and understand how the universe is structured, and that, what we perceive is really more holographic based on the laws and physics that we are on per frequency, dimension, and plane, you can better see how they do it. So there has been a whole lot of timeline manipulation going on, and it started with that CERN project. It has always been happening, but it went to another level with CERN. So when you guys see something, we've all seen it. We've all seen where it look, for a fact, you went somewhere, for instance, with us. I know for a fact I went to a couple of places where there was a store in a particular place, but we come back 2 days or 2 weeks later, and there's something else, a totally different structure that couldn't have been built in 2 weeks or a couple of days, So there's so many people who are seeing these kind of things being played out. There have been timelines where we know for a fact someone passed away 20 years ago, but then it's coming up as if they just passed away this year or last year, So it is very real. The Mandela Effect really is just shifting and manipulating timelines and them trying to control and manifest a narrative or a world that best suits a few and not the whole. But there are those in the background who are trying to correct or keep things in its proper context or in the proper order. Because there is a lot of chaos around this. So you have the negative side who is trying to get a certain order out of the chaos, but then you also have the righteous side trying to get order out of chaos. And here we are in these dense physical bodies experiencing both polarities in a very random and chaotic way. Now, what can get us more centered is what I talk about all the time, the balance. We have to find the balance within ourselves and truly start understanding, ultrastanding the true nature of reality. And then what begins to happen is once we start finding our own balance, we'll start having an acceleration in our DNA activation. And then that's when we really start elevating and going to the next level. And a part of 5G, and I'm going to talk about 5G, but a part of 5G is definitely designed to create what they call transhumanism, basically trying to turn humans into non-thinking biobots. That's a part of it. And the way to do that is to lock us down in the basic human mind perspective and perception, and put a block on it where we can't access the higher self or the higher mind, and we then become forever a slave or a drone or a robot biologically within this artificial intelligent RAN world that they are aiming for. Okay, I know I missed a lot, and I'm going to miss a lot when I start talking, you guys. Shondale, I can see these little white particles only in the daytime when I'm squinting my eyes. Yeah, you can see them with the naked eye. If you close your eyes and you turn and you squint your eyes and you turn your head at the right angle and you say in your mind that you wish to see what is truly before you, you not only see the particles, but you can also see the ley lines. You can also see the dimensional lines. You can also see the grids, and you will even start seeing silhouettes of other beings that are vibrating and walking and coming in and out of this dimensional realm. So again, nothing is really solid. I'm 100 trillion% sure of what I'm telling you. This is how and why all this stuff can happen. Did you see the opening of the new one, CERN? So demonic. I've seen pictures, yes, they are. But here's the thing. A lot of negative forces have come in, but they've been pulled out. A lot of cleanup is going on behind the scenes, guys. Do not buy into the propaganda and the BS. There's a lot of stuff. Some of us are right here in these bodies, right? But some of us are also up there, out there, doing some work as well. Because remember, we're multidimensional. We're not just sitting here in these bodies, even though being here is a very, very important role and a very important job, but we're also out there. I can tell you, I have memories of doing a lot of stuff, and I am not as myself, but an aspect of myself. And I'm telling you, that other aspect of myself, he don't play. So there's a balance even within our multidimensional nature. If you're quiet, sensitive, and mild mannered here, another aspect of yourself vibrate on another dimensional timeline may be very ruthless, hardcore, and don't play. But you can draw inspiration from that aspect of yourself and vice versa. So we are also, as we ascend in our mind and become more balanced, we're drawing inspiration and energy and might and fight and idea and concept from all those different versions of ourselves beyond what we see in this physical life, this dense physical life. I must be very specific. Okay. Uh, those white orbs that people often talk about, those are spirits. Now, let me tell you, those massive, huge orbs that people catch on camera and they are very, very distinct and they change colors, those are beings who are traveling in their starships. Now, let me do it in reverse. If any of us learn how to jump into another dimension at will, or go into another world at will, we will appear as an orb in that reality. So when beings who are not native to this reality comes in, they will appear spherical like an orb. And the smaller ones that you guys see, these are spirits from animals, insects, other nature life forms. You have a lot of nature spirits out there that you guys are seeing, but not consciously knowing that that is what you're looking at. I had an astral travel experience in my apartment in which I invoked a vibration to pass through a window. I got stuck while phasing through the window, but when I tried to fight my way out, it created, looks like it cut off. And this, and I know for a fact what you're saying is very real and very true, because the astral body is not anywhere as dense as this physical body. So it can go through things that would be dense and solid to us. But guess what? If we were really in tune and really had full knowledge of how these bodies really work, and we have 100% DNA activation, we can change the density of these bodies. I'm gonna tell y'all, one time I was in my garage at my old residency, and I had my camera set up, and I was just taking pictures automatically. And when I processed those pictures, a lot of those pictures were like in my center, you could see through me. And I was going to share it with you guys, but how convenient. My computer with all those pictures crashed and I couldn't retrieve them. But I've also seen where other people had uploaded pictures or shared pictures on the internet where the person is physical in the same timeline on the same frequency as everybody else, but they appear to be like translucent, or you can see what's right through them or right behind them. That's because in that moment, unbeknownst to them, their density lessened, it weakened, and the camera caught it. That's what happened when with those pictures that I'm talking about that I took years ago. In my core, the density lessened and the camera picked it up. So again, if we really knew how to control the body and use every function with 100% clarity, we can change our density, walk through walls, even on this plane. One of the guys I used to work with, he said what got him into consciousness, and I shared this story before. I'm going to briefly share it again, and I've even asked this brother if he would come on and talk about that experience. He said there was a time when he was totally in the world, unconscious, thought all this stuff was crazy. Three tall black men came up to him. He said they even looked like they didn't even belong here. They look out of place. But he said they came up to him and a couple of his other buddies, and they were telling them that they had magical powers and that they have to learn how to unlock them, right? And they thought they were talking crazy. So he said, one of the guys said, "Oh, you don't believe me? Well, let me show you." And he said the guy literally turned away and walked through a brick wall. And he said he thought it was some kind of trick, and the guy came back through the wall, demonstrating to them the guys they were falling out. Their minds were just blown by what they had seen. So when they saw that, or when he saw that, it made him question every single thing he's ever been taught. And that's what I've always said. When these people come in here and say things like, "Oh, that's crazy, it's impossible, you're delusional," y'all seen all the stuff. It's that way to them because they are still detached. They have not experienced or seen anything that completely destroys everything that they've been taught. When you experience and see something like that, there's no way you can continue believing everything that you taught are facts. No way. Now, I've had hundreds of experiences like that. Now, just imagine how someone seeing something like that one time dramatically changed their life. So now you guys are starting to experience and tap into these things. And of course, there are going to be people who are going to try to dismiss and tell you you're crazy. And I've now since learned it's just best to not entertain it. Just focus on those who are receptive and ready for it. What looked like a tear through reality itself, I fell through it. That, yes, I came out on the other end, and I was watching myself do the exact same thing just occurred. Yeah, that means you shift your consciousness, an aspect of yourself fell through this frequency and this vibration, and you observed yourself from a different perspective. And we do this all the time in our dream state. Have you guys ever wondered who are all those people in your dream state? In your dream state, you know who they are. Sometimes these are people an alternate version of yourself has a relationship in a different timeline. So it is your subconscious or superconscious mind that's interacting with them, not your human conscious mind. That's why when you wake up here, you know you had that experience, but you can't tie how you know these people. You don't know how you know these people. Or there are people who have written me and have said that they dreamt about someone or dreamt about a certain people a person they've never seen before, but 2, 3, 4 days later, they actually meet them here in physical life. So our dreams really show us all the time just how fluid and non-physical reality really is. But we don't pay attention because we're so distracted and stressed out, working slave jobs and all this kind of stuff. We're not really sitting and really putting thought into these things. And this is why people such as myself, we're here. We're saying, we're reminding you guys. Everything was slightly different. Yes, I had an astral projection experience years ago where I was still in my room and I was looking at my room, but if there was a slight variation, the layer of paint in the room was missing, but I could see the when the guys when they're doing the constructing, and they write little notes or numbers or like symbols on the wall, like an 8 by 10. They'll write little things on the wall. And when I came out of my body in my room, even though my astral body is still in the same space as this, I couldn't perceive my computer. My computer was not in the space, and the paint on the wall was gone. So in that instance, I was looking past. I was vibrating on the frequency that only allowed me to see what my mind and my astral body was perceiving in that moment. And on that frequency, the layer of paint in the computer was not on that layer. You see, so this is done on an infinitesimal. Yes, I'm making that word up. An infinitesimal level, a level that is truly beyond comprehension. Um, Talk about bilocation. I talked about that in the past. I didn't really follow up on it because I only had two powerful experiences with it. I hadn't conscious. When I say powerful experience, I mean where I am just as real as I'm sitting here, conscious as I'm sitting here talking to you guys. I had two bilocation experiences, and they were very random. And yes, it's very real for the same reasons I'm telling you guys now. Nothing is really solid. We're really multidimensional by nature. And when those DNA activation strands kick in, we start unconsciously tapping into and doing these things. Magical indigo adult. I was going to buy a crate. It was white. It was white when back. I guess I was going to buy a crate. It was white when back to the magazine, and now it's white. Oh, went back to the magazine, and now it's white. That's a Mandela effect right there. Timeline, slight variation somewhere, a slight variation in timeline, and in that moment flip with that particular magazine, or you flip to your consciousness, flip to another parallel version of yourself. And this is again why I say, guys, no matter what is going on this planet, we have to make sure we are clear in the timeline and vibration and time frequency that we want to be one with. No matter what timeline frequency we become one with, there are going to be challenges, but some are far more challenging than others, and the outcome is far more brutal than others. Some of the timelines are beautiful, yes, but some of the timelines are very, very brutal. It's all a matter in what you set the intent for yourself and how much of a balance we're maintaining for ourselves. Uh, yeah, sometimes they could be dream characters created by the subconscious mind, Andre, but they are also real beings who exist here on this realm and other frequencies and vibrations as well. Because if that were not the case, then we would not be dreaming about people we don't know and we've never met, but we will actually run into them 2, 3, 4 days later. My mom literally smiled and said, "Congratulations, you shifted. Now enjoy the journey." Yeah, your mom is connected. She knows what time it is. I believe that dreams are not just dreams. I don't agree when most say that dreams are fake. If dreams were not real, we would not have them. I think that dreams are real experiences into other dimensions. Yes, it is. And even if they are created by our mind, it's still real because the nature of who we are is to be a creator. We can go after we're done with this life, we can find a space in the infinite universe and create a whole universe of our own design. It may not be real to somebody who's not in it or taking part in it, but it's real to you because as a God being or being who had that kind of power, you can create and make it whatever you want. And so therefore you give it power. You have that right. That's what makes us so powerful. But of course, there are beings that don't want us to know this. Some of us, a lot of us are here getting trained in the mind on how to manifest. Someone brought that up earlier, how to manifest, because how to properly manifest, because if we're not in control, it's like giving a child a loaded top level gun or access to a nuclear arsenal. That's a lot of power. So these younger souls, these souls that are evolving, they can't just let them unleash in a universe with that kind of potential and totally add to even more chaos that we're trying to get order out of. The astral realm is very colorful. All colors exist. Yeah, there are colors. Let me tell y'all something. Talk about colors. This realm is very, very flat in everything, very dense still in everything. When you start going to these other realms, you will see that even colors have layers to them, multi-dimensional. My mother, I'm going to share this real quick with you guys because it's very related. My mother has her perfect light body. My mother came to me, she appeared before me, looked me dead in my soul. I was so overwhelmed by it. But let me tell you, my mother, I've seen examples of this before she had gotten her light body, but her light body had layers to it and the colors shift around. The clothing, the clothing that she had on had it shifted. It was like it was breathing and it was alive. Everything about you becomes life. Her skin, her eyes, her hair was gold. Her hair is literally the color of gold. Her hair is gold, and she had it in a style that I can't quite describe. She's never worn her hair that way when she was here, and she looked me in my soul, and the colors and the joy, and she had so much joy, so much peace. She was exploding with joy, peace, and happiness. And she couldn't say anything to me because they don't have a voice. When you get your light body, they communicate telepathically. But I didn't hear her say anything. It was like she just wanted me to see, like, look at me, I made it, I made it, I made it. Like she was just overwhelmed and so glad that I could see her. And so the colors, that's the point. The colors of the light body has multi layers to them, and they shift around and they move around, and they have like a power of its own, but it's still our loved ones. That's the eternal life that the Bible speaks of. The Bible has a lot of wisdom and truth in it. It just does. A lot of these books have a lot of truth. The eternal life, you become one with the life. You become like a son within yourself. And yes, that's only one aspect of my mother. That's the aspect of my mother that I knew, but I felt her entire being, and I was so overwhelmed by it. The vibration kicked in. I woke up, I was in tears, I was crying emotionally, and every time I think about my mother now, I see that. I see the joy and those beautiful, magnificent colors you can't put into words, and the happiness and the peace that she emitted, and how she looked me in my core, let me know, baby, this is real. I thought you were crazy. She did. Like a lot of people in my family, they thought I was crazy. But my mother now knows I was just tapping into things that was just not common, especially back when I was a kid. Not common at all. Not outside of a Christian narrative. Let me specify, not outside of a Christian narrative. But even with the Christians, they have a lot of truth. All the different religions have some truth to them. Um, I cannot tell the difference between my dreams and reality. Those are when you have, with me, I can tell the difference, but when I get the most confused is when I can't sense my astral body, or if I have a false awakening, meaning I think I'm up, I think I woke up. It feels just like you're up, just as real as I'm sitting here, but you look around, you realize something is off and something is different. You get snatched back and you wake up here, or it has happened to me where I wake up in another dream, think I'm awake, but I'm still asleep in this from this perspective. It gets really, really crazy. Um, how do we use parallel realities to our own benefit? That's a tough. I'm going to have to think that one through because it's no simple answer for that. That's a good topic for a video. I'm going to come back to that. We're already doing it. It's just that we have to start really noticing when it happens, or paying attention. And one of the things I can tell you right off the bat is absolutely paying attention to everything, looking up. You see so many people now walking around, looking down, texting, on the phone. You go in restaurants, everybody looking down, everybody looking down. See, this is a part of the 5G. I leave my cell phone home. All these cell phones, all this stuff with people looking down. That's the distraction. That's plugging consciousness into AI. That's a part of the 5G setup. So putting more of that away, getting more in tune with yourself, getting more in tune with the people around you, getting more in tune to everything, be open to everything. That's the first step. That's why I've always said it. I've always been a curious child. I've always kept an open mind. So even when I was depressed, very sad and lonely, until a brother came up to me who had to give, and he told me I had to give, but it was I wasn't fine tuning it, and I wasn't really tapping into it 100% because I didn't love myself, and that lack of self love was blocking off the power. I knew I was tapping into something, but I had no control of it. It was very random. It would come and go. But when I started working on myself and loving everything that makes me me, and got rid of the shame and not let the noise of the world get into me. That's it. Just like he said, when you start doing that, your power will open up and you will begin to do things that are truly amazing. And he was absolutely right. And now I'm passing that same message off on to you guys. How long do you think it will be till we realize we're not alone in the world? Oh, that's coming real soon. When I say soon, it's already started. Let me put it to you like this. There have been, especially in the past 10 years, there have been those who have tried to get it out, but they're not getting on the news. See, most people still have the wiring that if it ain't on the news, it ain't real news. Or if it ain't on the internet, all of that is still being manipulated. The narrative is still being manipulated. But I promise you guys, it's going to be sooner than you think. I'll just leave it at that. It's going to be much sooner than you think. Now, it's coming out more in ways where people are having personal experiences anyway, because we already know right now, until things are totally cleaned up, there are those who are still making sure that the narrative stays in a certain corner, but there are too many leaks coming out. So now you're going to notice more and more everyday people reporting. Even some of the harshest skeptics are going to be talking about seeing these things. As a matter of fact, there is a website where everyday people can go and report any UFOs. I just recently found this out, right? Go look it up. I can't think of the name of the website, but look up website directory to report UFO sightings. There's a government site that allows anybody to report UFO sightings, and they had it categorized by state. And there are literally thousands of reports every year all over the United States. Why this doesn't make the news? Because someone wants to shape your perception of reality and make you believe that we're it. This is it. And really it's kind of foolish. It's kind of like taking a grain of sand and putting it in somebody's hand and saying that's the only sand that exists in all of the universe. It's very rare. That little piece of particle is the only thing like it in all of infinity. That's what it sounds like when you really think about it. It's impossible for there just to be us. When they are telling you they found evidence of billions of planets, billions of universes and star systems. Y'all think it's just us and all of that? The cognitive dissonance when it comes to this stuff is truly astounding. Okay, I kind of got off. Now we you guys had asked about the Mandela Effect. We kind of touched on that. What was the other one? It was about manifestation, instant manifestation. Um, and that I was going to make a point about the instant manifestation. On this realm, manifestation happens if there's a delay. Like that's why they say if you want something, you have to visualize it, come up with a image board, or pray on it, or focus on it. And you notice if you do this and you keep focusing on it, eventually it'll come to be. That's because on this realm, manifestation happens in a delayed kind of way. But as the frequency and vibration of the planet speeds up, you will notice that these things appear to happen much quicker. In the spirit realm, and even in the dream realm, when we are in control of our mind consciousness, when we think of something, it happens instantly. Why? Because our thoughts are alive, and that again, nothing is really solid and physical. And if you see it in your mind, you can make it manifest right in front of you. This is what makes what they call heaven, heaven, because in that place, it's just a bunch of pure minds. Everything you want, you just think it, you have it. It's there. You can read. Everyone can be read. There's nobody can have a hidden agenda there because everybody is psychic and telepathic. Everybody can manifest what they want. You can be what you want. You can shape shift, form yourself, and whatever you want. There's no desire there. Everything you want and need is there because instant manifestation is it's the nature of what we call heaven or being in nirvana. Instant manifestation. If you wanted your hair a certain way, you think it, boom, your hair a certain way. You want to wear a different looking avatar, boom, you think it, there it is. But on this realm, it's very, very rigid and it's very, very delayed, and you have to do kind of toil in the fields and do things to change. Like if you want to look different, you have to go get plastic surgery. Whereas in the spirit realm or these other realms, by thought, you want to look a certain way, there's no judgment, boom, think it, boom, you have it. You can look any way you want. Be anything you want, have whatever you want, as long as you're staying in harmony with that particular realm that you're on. So again, here in this reality, we do manifest. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When I was a little boy, no, not a little boy, when I was much younger, I did notice that I did a lot of instant manifestation in my naivete, but it was little small things like if I lost my school tokens and I didn't have any way to get home, I would just think about it and someone would say, look down, and there would be some tokens on the ground or $1 for me to get on the bus. I used to do this all the time when I was a little boy. I shared with you guys a few years ago when my car broke down at a car lot fast food restaurant, and I couldn't call anyone because everybody was at work. So I kept focusing on a clothes hanger because all I needed was a clothes hanger to reach down in the crack of the window to unlock my vehicle. And something said, go look in the front of my car. And I looked in the front of my car and there was a clothes hanger. It's already stretched out, laid out in the front bumper of my car. I wrote a blog about this years ago. So we unconsciously tap into it anyway, and we make it happen. We focus right. But you're going to notice as the frequency and vibration of this plane speed up, you're going to see it instant manifestation seemingly happen with smaller things first. And then as the weight and the dead weight of this planet lightens even more, you're going to notice it happening even more. Even with people who, what we put out for a long time, it would take a long time to get back because of the nature of this realm. But as these frequencies kick in, then you're going to start seeing people getting their stuff back a lot quicker, a lot more quicker. or quickly. If you perceive a person has entered your dream without permission, how do you stop, eject, or prevent them from doing so? You simply think and state, I do not give consent to you being in my place, in this space. You are to leave now. State your will. Did you have that right? My contracts and agreement video, I basically, in a roundabout way, made it known that a lot of the stuff that happens to us is really by um, ignorant consent and not knowing our universal rights. We have every right to step in our soul, higher self state and declare non consent to everything. Now, that doesn't mean that these beings are going to cooperate, because sometimes they don't. But even if they don't cooperate, that cause and effect will be on them, not on you. That's why when I state my intent and people continue to cross that line, just know, and they need to know, that whatever happens to them, it is of their own choice, because they consent by not consenting to my will, violating my space and my will. Then by default, there are consequences to that that they have to deal with. So just state your intent, fam, and mean it. Invisible children love playing around the wife. They love to play on our bed when she's in the room by herself. Now, someone would look at that, oh, that's crazy. That's her imagination. And I know you are absolutely right. Children, now a lot of times these are children who are not on the other side of the veil. These are children who are astral traveling. Okay? Children and babies are still connected until a billion and one vaccines are put into their body and jack up their nervous system and put a block between the heart and their brain and the mind consciousness. That's the main culprit as to why a lot of these things sound crazy to people. We are so shut off by things such as vaccines and chemicals and preservatives and food in the water, then the indoctrination. I saw 3 huge black donut-shaped UFOs last year, really low. I've seen those too. I've seen the ones with their donut, cigar shape with the white orbs along the side. I seen that was one, and I saw a shape-shifting one. I've also seen them on the astral realm, because these beings who are in some of these ships are so advanced, they can change the density of the ship and go on any plane, because the ship is intelligent, the ship is alive, and it has the ability to shift itself and its occupants in different densities and dimensions, just by will, or by the will of those who are one with the consciousness of those ships. Shape shifting is very real. But what it really is our mind perspective shifting beyond what the person wants you to see. You basically start seeing behind that layer of the being. I'm going to do a video about subliminal programming, because I know for a fact they're doing subliminal programming on these videos. For instance, in the title, they have subliminally not interested as a command. Your subconscious mind, your conscious mind will see the title, but your subconscious mind will read it as not interested. So this is another way where they cleverly sway your perception of what to watch and what to listen to. That's a whole nother big conversation right there. I found your channel during the lockdown. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, many talk about the concept of higher court system that deals with free will violation. The court system is a part of this. There's so many things going on at the same time. The court system, everything is being cleaned up. Remember what I said in my contracts and agreement? This is why y'all need to pay attention. I'll be dropping some big gems, y'all, and I do it in a way where I'm not spoon feeding, because I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be in a way where when you get it, you got it. And for those it's not for, meaning those who will take it and try to use it against us in some kind of way, it's not for them. It's for you guys. you guys need to really pay attention to the videos, because I give y'all a lot more than y'all consciously aware of. So there is a lot of cleaning up going on in the court system because of all the corruption that has gone on as well. The banks, the banking system, every facet of society is going through a radical cleanup, but at the same time, there are those who are fighting to hold on, or they're trying to create distractions to try to cover their behinds in some kind of way. Wow, several months ago, I was in the bed and an invisible child crawled into my bed and laid under my chest. Yeah, a lot of them are children who are right here on earth. I've been having more moments of this world not making sense, like a disconnect in this world. That means you've awakened to another level. Feels like I don't belong. And that's the downside of being woke, so to speak. When you see all this stuff, it's not a theory, it's not a, you know for a fact it is what it is, and everyone around you it's just totally oblivious to it, and you try to make it known, and you're seen as the crazy one, and you still have to go along to get along, and that's been the most difficult thing for me coming up. I have a much better way of coping now, but when I was younger, there was no internet, no outlet, none of this stuff. And I was tapping into this stuff for real. Hey, Tanisha Mitchell. Tanisha. She and we're going to do a video. I told her a long time ago, you guys have to hear her story. And it deals with child sex. I got to watch my words because they'll censor. It deals with child abuse. And I knew that I was going to do a video with her. And I'm going to put it on all of my channels. That's how important it is. It's just the right timing. One of the things that is happening now, you guys are seeing all these predators being exposed in the church. I've seen them in the church ever since I was a child. And even when I try to ring the alarm on that, because so many people are sheep-minded, they will go out their way to protect these men and some women, but the majority of them are men, and there's a reason for that. But these men whose religion, literally, it is to abuse, I almost said the S word, to abuse children in a very sadistic way. It is their religion, and the people around them are totally oblivious. And some of these people are supposedly prophets and prophetess, and they are not able to see what these people are doing. And even when I was depressed and wasn't totally 100 tapped into my power, I saw these men, and there were far more of them than people can begin to imagine. People would always talk about the Catholic Church. No, this is in all religions. This is in just about all cults, because it's the nature of those who thrive to get into those positions and abuse the responsibility. They're going to eventually get into the sex word rituals, primarily with children and those who have a lot of high vibratory energy, that these forces that they're working with and these gods that they have their allegiance to, they're working for them, and they need to feed them. They need to give back to them for the power, the position that they have, the wealth that they have. Okay? This stuff is really, really deep. So we are going to do a video sharing her story and further exposing this very common problem. And we're going to get it to the point where it will be, even those who want to do these things, they will think 34 times before they carry it out, because the children will be so comfortable with telling that they won't even have. We're basically disempowering these people. I'm saying it in a roundabout way. And I started this dialogue with my niece and nephews years ago. I told them, you don't let nobody, I don't care who it is, somebody touch you inappropriately or does something to you, you come and tell. And I'm just that person. My sister, that we don't play when it comes to that. Not at all. And I know my nieces and nephews, if they come and tell us something like that, they're not going to come and tell us that just because. No, they're upright. I have a hand in helping raising them. If they come and tell something like that, I know they're telling the truth. They know I know when they're lying. And people in my cousins and others in my family. I don't play that. So this is why I'm going to start talking more and more about this and letting more people who experienced this and seen it firsthand talk about it. And I don't care what anybody got to say or think about it either. So Tanisha, we're going to work on that. We're going to get that video. Hopefully, I'm going to play around with another app because I want you to be on camera with me where they can see you too. I can't do it with YouTube. I'm going to do it outside of YouTube. But I'm going to upload that video on this channel and on all my other channels. Your story must be told. If when you guys hear her story, and I know she is telling the 100% truth. Okay. I love your videos. Been a fan of yours since 2012. Thank you. Kayawi, Kayoe Moon. Am I saying your name correctly? Thank you so much and welcome. I appreciate that. Basically, beings that can attach to people using sex and their main source, and their main source of energy is a sex energy exchange. Yes, yes. Our, our, our sexual energy is our creative life force. It's very, very powerful. Our parents both our parents give up a very large part of their sexual energy when they create our bodies, and when we come in, we grow with it, we amp that power up, and there are forces out there looking to deplete that and suck it out of us. And when they do that, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people can't see the kind of stuff we're talking about. Drugs and alcohol play another role. That's why they promote people who glorify drugs and alcohol heavily. People who promote everything that is counter to rising and elevating our consciousness are by far the most pushed, the most promoted people anywhere on the planet. That's just the way they have it. And this is how they control the narrative, and they indoctrinate and control people's perception of what is possible, what is real, and what is reality. That's a fact. I would lay my life on that. That's how sure I am of it. I think two of my favorite movies, Doctor Strange and the Quantum Realm, from my another favorite movie, Ant-Man, are connected. Yeah, they do hide a lot of these secrets in plain sight. And remember when I made the video about the Bible, I said there are a lot of stories and stuff in there, like fairy tales and stuff like that. But those fairy tales still are based off of factual events and things, and we still do it to this very day. A song artists, people who are creative, are very targeted because they know we have very overactive imagination. So I bring my creative self to these messages as well, and they know that artists are naturally tapped in, and so if they can't control the artist, they'd rather shut it down. This is why in Hollywood and all these places that has access to the masses mind, they get the best artists and they pay them very well to basically help further their agendas. And any artist that's not down with it and who's putting out music, vision, magic, whatever the case may be, that's not in alignment with what they want to hide us and suppress us. What's up, Randy, buddy? That's okay. Welcome, Randy. Randy, that's my buddy right there. He's another one. Tell your auntie I said hi. Like I said, I forged some really good connections over the years, and I don't take any of them for granted. And it's destiny. And there are a couple of others out there that I'm destined to come across as well. But yeah, welcome, Randy. Thank you so much. Welcome, Travis. He's another one. Vincent. Tanisha says, Vincent, I stay watching ABB because he speaks from his heart. I would suggest you start there. Thank you, Tanisha. And I do. You people, people feel the passion and the genuine. It is coming from my heart. It really is. I wouldn't still be doing this, guys. Like I said, I'm thinking about doing a video talking about what it was like for me, because I don't share a lot of stuff, because I don't want to look like I'm coming across like I'm looking for a pity party or anything like that. But at the same time, I need to allow myself to be vulnerable more, because I'm not always in 100% control. Sometimes I fall out of balance. We all do. Sometimes I get very angry. Sometimes I may flip off. And my sister was literally 30 seconds away from me going off on somebody in public one time. And that's not like me. But this was somebody who was clearly making fun of me, and it triggered some stuff that I didn't deal with. And so, yeah, I had my moments, and I'm telling you, when the beast come out of me, he ain't nothing to play with. People, I am very kind, I'm loving, I'm mild mannered, but there's a beast there too, and I like to keep him under control unless I absolutely need him to come out. And when he come out, he ain't playing, he ain't taking no prisoners. So all these people running around here talking about acting masculine, acting tough. No, you ain't gotta act when you just are. Okay. So that's why y'all see me clearly being comfortable in my feminine side, because there's a whole hell of a lot of power in the feminine, and there's a whole hell of a lot of power in the masculine. It's a matter of bringing forth what you want to get what you need when you want it or need it. What did you miss? What's up, Gaia? Gaia, you missed a lot. This particular interaction is really about you guys. I wanted to be about what is on your mind. I'm following you guys' lead and talking about the things that you guys want to talk about. Letting you lead, and I'll jump in. But I have a habit of it's just a habit I need to work on, of monopolizing conversations. Even with when I've gotten together with peers over the years, I have a tendency of monopolizing the conversation. This is an area I really need to work on. Not shutting anyone down. I just not monopolizing, dominating the conversation. That's not the word, because I'm all for free speech, even if I disagree. I tend to dominate the conversations. That's the right word I'm looking for. I'll rewatch the live after this archive. I'm doing okay and will. Good, Randy. Albert M. Dirth. Haven't heard you ABB for a very long time, Albert. Why is that, buddy? Is it because you haven't been getting any videos or notifications? Because I've been putting up new videos every Wednesday for over a month now. I did take a long break, and I tend to take extensive breaks from the internet because I'm very empathic, and the energy that they push to the forefront, I can't take but so much of that at a time. But I'm still here, never really gone. The way you say what you need to say from the heart without going off is a great skill. Yeah, thank you. Sorry to interrupt, but should I tell the incubus to leave? Yeah, if you don't want it there, is there anywhere to find more information about incubus? I've done videos about that. Just go type my full name, Astral baby, comma, incubus and succubus. I've done a few videos about that, and they are very real. These are psychic sex. See, the S word slipped out again. They are those types of vampires, and that's their life force, because they're disconnected. No notifications, no surprise, Gaia. I think I think great light is balanced by way of great darkness. It's about what we choose to go with in the now, but both are available. Very true. I agree. Politically mistaken. I agree. I do a welfare check firsthand, but otherwise, yes. Okay. Uh, Poetically mistaken. The light feels preferable, though, for sure. Okay. If I'm in a high vibe, then why can't I shift the people trying to hurt me to be good to me? Because that's not their will. That's your will. We can't force this on people. They have to be receptive. And if they don't cooperate or if they violate your will again, that's on them. That's you've already stated your intent. They have to deal with the consequence. There's a cause and effect and a consequence to everything. That's just the built-in makeup and a universal law. It's just universal law. Nobody can escape that, no matter what plane of consciousness we choose to experience. Janine Thornton, I have missed you as well. No notifications. I love you. Thank you, Janine. You guys just come check all day. I don't have a set time, but all day, every Wednesday, at least you know every Wednesday, something should go up unless I say otherwise. Something should go up at least every Wednesday on this channel. I have not been posting a lot of new stuff on my Cosmic Me channel, but I soon will. I may do it where I'll take a break. I'll let you guys know when I'm gonna take a break here and start posting more social issues on my Cosmic Me channel, and I'll just go back and forth because producing these videos and making videos, it's a lot of work. And trying to put new content on my channel, on this channel, on my website, and all, it's too much. So I have to shift where I put my attention to be consistent with one particular gateway at a time. ABB, so many of your fans actually want you to have an interview with David Icke and Ryan Cropper, and that both of you actually would talk about the fundamental of reality and so much more. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. The thing is this, how should I put this? There are a lot of people out there who are really, really big, who have the numbers, right? They are not going to give the time to people who appear to not have the so-called leverage. And again, that's the whole point of marginalizing some of us while giving others the green light. But I wouldn't mind having that, even if I disagree with them on certain points and they disagree with me. That's how we grow. I wouldn't mind it, but I highly doubt that that's going to happen anytime soon. And that's all I'm going to say about that. A lot of unresolved conflicts from my childhood has been surfacing a lot during this time. Yes, that's the nature of what's happening for everyone. These new energies are intense. Yes, and this ain't even the hard stuff. We ain't even getting the hard stuff yet. It's harder than what it was before, but I've been telling you guys for years, it's incrementally kicking in. It's like a woman in labor. Any woman will tell you in the beginning it's very light, but with each hour, it gets more and more and more intense until it gets to a crescendo. And that's when that new birth, that new life, everything kicks in. It's kind of like what we're going through on a cosmic level, but instead of hours, it's taking centuries. But now we're getting to the final hours, so to speak. Arian X Gabriella, thank you so much for explaining that sex life for us. I've heard people say sex is a powerful energy and abstinence can help your kundalini rise, but never fully understood why. That is 100% true. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to be a little candid here, and I'm going to choose my words wisely. One of the reasons why I was having so many spontaneous astral projection experiences, especially when I started hitting puberty and when puberty really kicked in and when my hormones was really raging and I wasn't just out there. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had sex. I've done stuff. But it was nothing for someone my age. Compared to the average person, male my age especially, I'm a virgin in comparison. Let's just put it like that. I have done something, but nothing like the average person. So I wasn't, for a long time, I wasn't releasing sexually. I didn't even have my first conscious orgasm, physical orgasm, until I was 27. Okay? So I know for a fact one of the reasons why it was so over the top for me at that time, but I was also depressed and very unhappy with myself. It was so over the top. It's because for someone my age, not expelling and sharing my body and expelling my sexual energy like that. It was so much of it. So when I finally did do it for the first time, y'all, When I had my very first orgasm, it so much came. It was ridiculous. Now, hey, we're grown now. So much came out because it was such a buildup. So the balance of sexual life force energy can actually work against us in the extreme reverse. Like if we don't ever release, it's going to create another kind of problem. But if we releasing too much, it's going to create a problem. It comes back to balance. This is why a lot of these priests and these nuns who committed to a lifetime of celibacy, a lifetime of this stuff is not healthy. I don't care what nobody say. A lifetime of not having some kind of intimacy, expression, and release with someone is not healthy. It's going to create a problem. This is why you find a lot of these people, they start acting out in a very psychotic, dysfunctional way because that sexual force starts turning on them and clouding their judgment and clouding the mind. So we have to release at some point, at some time. Even though I don't have a sex partner, I'm single and have been single for the longest. I still have to find ways every now and then to listen to my body. I have to release to maintain my balance. Because if I don't, now that I'm older, the way it turns on me, it starts attacking my core. And I'll start feeling I'll start having a hard time breathing because that energy is blocked and it stays in here and I'm very uncomfortable and I have to release it. So I'm so much in tune with it now that I haven't had any real issues with that in a few years now. So I'm passing on to you guys again what I've learned firsthand and what I've gone to the Akashic records and confirmed since. I should be donating for a personal time with you soon, ABB. I did get your email. Oh, thank you, fam. Okay, we'll make it happen. Why do you not make a video that you are open for interviews and then let your followers and fans share it with the admins? I mean, you guys can put it out there. It's just not something I really put a lot of thought into. I mean, I am going to do interviews, don't get me wrong, but these are interviews. I also have another, I'm going to get another sister. She's related to me by marriage. She had multiple near-death experiences, and I'm going to bring her on to talk about it because there are not enough brown people on the internet talking about things like this, and I want to broaden the narrative. So I'm not closed off to it. It's just that I'm going to do interviews, but if you guys recommend it and they reach out to me and ask, I'm open to it. I'm just not one of those people to go out my way and pull it in if it's not something I'm initiating on my own. I hope that doesn't sound selfish, but that's just the way it is right now. Just type the name of the person you would like to interview. Okay. Astral Boo Baby, what's up, fam? This is Azazel. What's up, buddy? Azazel. Haven't talked to you I have not spoken to you in about 2 years. See, I told y'all I have real relationships with these people that come in. These are not strangers. I have a history with a lot of these people that goes outside of the internet. What's up, bud? I definitely have to talk to you for old time's sake. A lot of y'all I have not spoken to in a couple of years now. But when we do talk, it's like we just talked like maybe a couple of months ago. I'm trying to find a way to make agreement with my soul by signing a contract to unlock my dormant power to transcend the norm through the ways of balance and discipline. If you are looking to sign a contract that is not a part of your soul, be careful with that, Travis. I'm going to talk to you more about that offline. You really have to be careful with who you're making agreements and contracts with. And you're going to see a lot of that. A lot of those who are desperate and know that their time is up, they're in the back wing trying to make deals with people and trying to save their behinds in a different kind of way. I'm going to talk to you about that. Y'all be careful about people offering deals to you, especially if they give you a contract, offer you a contract, and they got a whole lot of small fine print you don't understand, or it's written in a language you don't understand, or they give you a contract with blank pages. Especially if they give you a contract with blank pages in between, you better not sign that mess. Or if you sign it and you agree to the terms of the pages, and there's those blank pages, those are there to give them room to come in and add stuff to basically hem you up, to snare you. You put a great big X, giant X, on every single one of those blank pages and put "I do not consent" across in red. Azazel, facts, I miss you, fam. Miss you too, buddy. You've been doing pretty good. How's the little boy? Your son, your SUN. Happy ABB. Oh, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Hey, ABB, been posting questions from my other account, but didn't seem like you were seeing them. Great to see you live. What's up, fam? You know I shared your video. Samra, I know you probably, I believe you go on your other channel. I'm not sure what you go by on the other. Samra, this sister got her pulse. She has a pulse on what is absolutely going on. I'm going to, when I finish this video, you guys check out Samra's video. Some of you already have, because I shared her video on my Facebook. Check out this sister's video. She is absolutely divinely connecting. She's a living manifestation of the divine feminine, 100%. So welcome, Samra, and a good job on that video. Outstanding, outstanding. I heard about his channel, David Icke's channel being taken down. Now, okay, you guys take this. Now, how should I put this? Now that more people are finding out about the covert suppression and censorship on the internet, I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is. I'm leaving that to you guys. Those who are a part of controlled opposition are now coming out and saying that their stuff is being hacked and messed with as well. Because again, it's getting out that those who really are the most genuine and realists are being suppressed, or those who are not in the pocket of those who are pushing a particular narrative are not getting mainstream visibility. So I'm just putting that out there for you guys to sit in, so you better understand why sometimes I may be a little more reserved about certain things as well. I'm not saying he is a part of controlled opposition, and I'm not saying he is. Actually, I found him by way of someone who followed his work, and they heard me talking about some of the stuff I'm talking about, and they asked me, "You must read David Icke's book." And I was like, "Who is that? I never heard of him." And they told me to look him up, and I looked him up, and I did found that a lot of the things he said happens to fall in alignment with what I was tapping into, what I was experiencing. So I do listen to him. He does bring information, and even if someone is a part of controlled opposition, does not mean that they cannot give some valuable information. But again, as with everyone, even myself, you take the information and you comb it with a fine-tooth comb and use discernment wisely. Don't just take everything at face value. I don't care how good it sounds and how good it may make you feel. And there are not many who's going to tell you guys that. You got a lot of arrogant people out there who's telling you, "Oh, my way is the absolute 100% way, and there's nobody on the planet like me. Nobody on the planet doing this. Nobody on the planet knows this." I would tell you for a fact, you better run the other way. You come across anybody talking like that, because I know that is a flat out lie. Delusion from the high heavens. Nope, nope, nope. The gods did not put all their eggs, and they never do put all their eggs in one basket. Never, no. So you definitely hear someone saying, "I'm the only one that did this, and you must only come through me." No, nope, don't buy it. Your son doing good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for the update. We're going to talk, Abby, how do you get to a point where negative opinions about who you are don't bother you? It's a work. It's going to take time. You first must start doing the very things that you know that's going, the things that you know that it comes natural to you and for you. Start stepping out in that and allow yourself to feel whatever comes your way. You're going to get people who are going to say negative things, talk behind your back no matter what you do. Even if you're doing everything in accordance to what they like, they're going to say something. So once you make it up in your mind that people are going to say stuff and hate on you and not like you no matter what you do, that's a fact. Nothing you can do about that. And then realize that you hiding who you are is really hurting yourself more so than them. When you start coming to that realization and you weigh the pros and cons, you will start seeing that being true to yourself is the best way to go. And when you start stepping into that and noticing that you're going to attract people who are going to love you and accept you for who you are, no matter what, versus those who put conditions on you, and you give your attention and energy to that, that will begin empowering you even more. You will start just not caring because now you get it. You get it. There's nothing you're going to ever do to make people like you for who and what you are all the time. There's nothing you can do about it. So when you accept that and start stepping into who and what you really are, and not only that is key to not caring anymore, but you will notice the universe will start opening up to you. Then you will notice even the gods, our star family, whatever you want to call ancestors, they'll step in because I know for a fact one thing they absolutely respect is when we step up in bravery. When they really love that. They it's like they see it as a very noble thing, and because they see from a higher perspective, they know what we do and what it takes for us to stand in that bravery, and it makes them respect and honor us and support us even more because they know that's a very hard thing to do. Like I said it before, being true to yourself in a world that you know is going to hate you for is one of the most gangster, womanly, manly, toughest things that anybody will ever do. And it's a process. Like I said, it's not going to happen overnight, but at least start stepping into just being true to who you are, not caring about what anyone says, not caring about what anyone thinks. But if it comes in and you feel it and it makes you feel some kind of way, allow yourself to feel that. And over time, you'll start becoming immune to that feeling. In other words, you start getting thicker skin, and your armor will begin to build over that thicker skin, and nothing will phase you. I'm telling you. Take it from someone who had to do it with without a lot of guidance or some people like me to follow. Maybe do you think there are reptilians born into human bodies by way of birth? Yes, yes. A lot of us are. We have a parallel version who's a reptilian, and this group has gotten a really bad rep. Not all reptilians or people who are. When you think of reptilians, think of the same way we look at the primates, right? We share DNA, but just as they're loving, caring people, there's some hostile, negative ones, and then you have those that are somewhere in between. The reptilians are just highly advanced reptiles. We're an advanced form of primates. These bodies. I'm just talking about these bodies. The consciousness that takes on these suits, it's even further beyond that. It's just consciousness. It's just awareness. We just choose to take on different suits and different vessels for expression or to experience or to be present wherever we choose to be. So yes, there are absolutely beings who have a reptilian version of themselves being projected in these human bodies, because don't forget too, we are part reptilian. We're part mammalian. So we share DNA with them anyway. ABB, what do you think about all the conscious community people who believe Trump is helping exposing the pedophiles? It seems like a lot of people waking up are being pulled that way. It's true. I agree. He is. And that's why I did a reading on him when those of you who read my blogs on my website, you guys know I did a calibration reading on him. He's very misunderstood, but his intentions are his intentions may come across very brash. He is a narcissist. You have to be a narcissist to want to do something like that. You have to. Some people are positioned to do divine things, and they need certain qualities that a lot of us may find offensive to do what it is that they do. It is necessary. The reason why so many people were so shocked that he got in there is because he was not intended to be in there by those who want to control the narrative on this planet, but he was put in there by divine order. So yes, he is, and they're doing everything they can to destroy him. And you always know when they're against you is when they're doing everything they can to make you look bad, twist your words around, misrepresent you, um, suppress your narrative, attack everything you say and do. That's how you know who's really working on behalf of the people and who's just another good old boy. And he's arrogant. And again, to a certain degree, you have to have that kind of swagger to do what he does. So there's a lot going on, and he is playing a very. He's a trump card, literally, figuratively, and metaphysically. What I was saying about Trump when I did the reading, I got a over 500 calibration level on him, but most people would see him as being a troublemaker. But he had to come to clean up a swamp or to clean up a filthy, dirty underbelly, which you have to turn it over. You can't coddle people and tell people what they want to hear. You have to do stuff to get stuff moving. He's from that background anyway. He's by the book. He likes to go in and grab the bull by the horn and start getting stuff moving. And he knows how to trigger people to move and get stuff going. So he has a fan base that likes that, but he also has people that hate him for it. So no matter where he moves or how anybody moves for that matter, once they get into that office, you're not going to make everybody happy. But most of them, for the most part, have been there to keep those who are in power to satisfy what it is that they want. But it's a different day and age. Now, there's something else that I've read about him that I cannot say, but it will come out. It will come out for sure. And I know for a fact they'll edit it out, so I'm not even going to bother saying it. I saw a past life where I was reptilian. We had a beautiful society. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of these highly advanced societies have reptiles and dragons in them. We've been taught to see them as all hostile and evil and demonic. No, that's a great way of frightening people away from accepting or embracing aspects of themselves that are very, very, very powerful. A lot of reptilians and a lot of dragon beings are very, very powerful, and it's good to have them as an ally. I know for a fact I got them on my team. No question about it. No questions about it. So a lot of us do have them as allies, as family members. Yes, it's like I said, even these bodies. So we have reptilian ancestors. Yes, and I have seen them. I'm not just talking about theory. I have seen them. I know they're real. I believe that not all reptilians are bad either. I think some are bad and some reptilians are good beings as well. Yeah, just like even if you look at them in nature in their primitive form, you have some are vegans. They are harmless. They're more afraid of us a lot of things than the other way around. Then I know a lot of people are afraid of anything that's foreign or reptile. Wait a minute, hold on. Why do I only have 28 likes? It's showing that I have 47 viewers and only 28 likes, and I've been on here all this time. I just noticed that. That can't be right. See what I'm saying? I'm sure a lot of you guys are hitting the like and they knock it back down. Unbelievable. But if I was on here half naked, cussing, acting like a hood booger, and cussing every word and promoting poison, I would have thousands of likes and they would be promoting me all across YouTube, Facebook, and Yahoo. Or if I get up here and drag and have on a dress, they will make sure that'll get seen. I remember you spoke about one you saw in the astral realm and you sensed that it was very yes. That wasn't the only one. There was the dragon one. There was a very motherly energy. And in their world, they're vegetarians because everywhere you look, they have their food supply. They eat plants. Plants are alive too, but they're vegans. They're vegan, vegetarian reptilians, but they'll have you think all of them have sharp teeth and they want to eat human flesh and they're ruthless. Not saying those types don't exist, but a great deal of them are very loving, peaceful, harmonic people too. They're just people, just in a different expression. What about Enlil and Inky, Anunnaki creation story? Is there any truth to it? Yes, I believe we were seeded by spiritually advanced ETs, but don't know if I buy that story. There is truth. You see that same story repeated throughout history in different ways. But that story, absolutely. Once you guys get to the point where, like, the questions you have of someone presents something to you, you can verify it by way of the Akashic records or going within. It's right in the DNA. We have a library of, a library of a lot of information right here in the DNA, in the genetics. Are you familiar with Juice World? Juice World, Juice World, Juice World. Sounds familiar. Give me a little reminder. Juice World. Gosh, that sounds familiar. The suppression is real. It is. Would you do a Patreon on the Trump calibration? A Patreon? I don't have a Patreon. I have it on my website. You have to go to astralboobaby.net and click on my blogs and type in Trump in the search engine and it should come up. That was the reading I did on him then. This was when he had first got elected, around the same time as that, when I had done that reading. And I said in that reading, a lot of people that don't like him when he got elected will end up liking him, and a lot of the very ones that got him in office will not like him by the time the dust settles. I know for a fact I said that. I put that in there. Yeah, I may have even mentioned it in a video, but do you think the shutdown have to do with them hiding extraterrestrials? That's not the only. It's not the only. But that is being leaked too. I believe Gaia Earth sent me some information about the Pentagon is starting to leak information about that. So when you see them starting to leak, that means it's getting to that next level. But that's a small part of it, Mario. Would you consider a Patreon? Oh, I already read that. Do you have a video on how to access the Akashic records? I'm sure I did one way back when I first started out around 2009. Check my archives. Do a search engine on my archives. I'm sure I did. You're welcome. Yours says 50 watching. Mine says 51. And it shows 44 likes. So at least it should be showing 51 likes. Um, the Akasha rays within the head chakra. Great point. The Akasha, you can access it through that gateway. Let's just put it like that. What was the? There was okay. You guys. We talked about the Mandela Effect. We talked about instant manifestation. I got off the top. What was the third one that someone? Let me go back. Hey, what's up, Michelle? Thank you. What's up, Mario? I forgot to mention. What's up? Fish people and the mermaid. Oh, they're letting us. The Aquaman movie again is putting a lot of truth in plain sight in the form of fiction. See, a lot of people find this very, very hard to believe, but you know, the majority of this planet is water, and a great majority of that water has not been explored by man. There are not only uh, humanoid like forms that exist underwater, like we've been shown over the years, but there are also very, very large creatures like what's that movie that we went to see where they had to build a giant robot to fight these creatures that came out from deep beneath the ocean. Really, man messing around and digging and trying to go places where he's not supposed to be. It's disrupting the balance. And if it gets to a point where the balance becomes so great, they're going to cause a lot of those ancient giant creatures to come to the top. They're showing it in the movies. Now, all these people that say, "Oh, that's crazy, that's make believe," I'm going to give y'all an assignment. Go and look for every movie that had a futuristic theme, say 50 years or more ago. Movies that are like 50 years or older that had a futuristic theme in it, and look at how much that they had in that movie that is now part of our everyday life. If y'all think that this is crazy, just as they shown in the movies decades ago with a futuristic thing that we now experience as a reality, what they're putting in the movies now, we will see as a reality in the future. But we will see it far more quickly than we in this timeline than we did in the past because the planetary alignment is speeding up so fast. I mean, the plane of the consciousness is speeding up so fast. Oh, sorry to go off topic. I think you skipped my question. Do you think people who remember their dreams more have a more yes, yes. People who remember dreams have more expanded conscious and is operating more in a balanced state, meaning for them, not for everyone else. For them, they found their their right senses, a balanced sense of self. They're eating well enough to make to retain or have that kind of connection. They don't have a lot of chaos around them, or they are keeping their chaos at a minimum so that that is not affected when they wake up here. So yes, in a roundabout way, yes, that is true. Thank you, AJ. Thank you. Loving the purple bedroom. Thank you. ABB, is it really possible to transfer consciousness to a digital? Yes, yes, to a digital world, clone body. So many movies and TV shows. The more advanced civilizations are already doing this. Here, we're we're given we're the perception. I'm not going to say illusion. We our perception is if we're evolving to it, but outside of this reality, it is already done. We're already there. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, that's basically what it is. Consciousness of those who have had their mind consciousness consented to it to be planted into artificial intelligence, but it's also technology becoming self-aware, and then once they become self-aware, they no longer become like a computer to be at somebody's whim. They become self-directing. They become intelligent. That's what happened with a lot the original human prototype, the original, not the original human prototype. Let me be more specific. Those who were created to be a slave caste was created to just be smart enough to follow instructions, but not smarter than those who are ruling over them or their masters. But what ended up happening is that those beings who were created to be slaves became intelligent and self-aware. And once you become self-aware and intelligent, you become one. This is where even people who don't have a soul, they can spark a soul, because once you become conscious and self-aware and self-directing, that's when the gods can come down and begin guiding you, if that is your will, to craft a soul for yourself. So this is where they then become protected by universal laws. You see? So 5G has a lot to do with a artificial intelligent reality, because the Matrix, I'm going to say it again, is a technological copy of the true natural nature of reality. They're just using technology to replicate the nature of reality, but for the technological version of the Matrix to hold up, they need part consciousness and they need soul beings to power it. So a part of the 5G thing is connected to them trying to set up their artificial world, and they want as many souls there as possible to power that world. That's the problem. I'm not going to say too much. Like I said, I have a video coming out about that. Thank you. Great conversation. Thank you. I witnessed from a past life how in Atlantis they put consciousness inside AI technology. Yeah, they were doing that back then. Yeah, they were. Thanks for the video title. You're welcome, Ramon. Everybody say it different. Is it Ramon or Raymond or Raymond? Tell my sister and my nephew that Azazel said hi. I will. I will. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna bring this to a close. I'm gonna do more lives, but I'm gonna space them out. Hopefully, when I publish this, they haven't edited out a lot of this juice. But I'm going to also make use of other webcam service providers where I don't see as much censoring going on. You're welcome, Misty World. Son Goku. Yo, you're welcome, Amar. What's up, Amar? Amar, you're welcome, fam. It's been a pleasure. Likewise. And let me see. Is there anything else? They attacking all the channels, waking up people. Yeah, they are. Someone just brought to my attention that there are more whistleblowers from Google who are coming out and talking about and exposing what we've been seeing, what I've been saying for years. For me, this censoring stuff started way back in 2011 and 10 and 11. For me, I know for a fact the censoring and suppression of my channel started way back then. It's just gone to a whole nother level. But there are whistleblowers who work for Google who are saying, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game. Y'all can't pay me enough. And kudos to them. I know y'all doing the right thing. Y'all will be highly honored for doing that. Thank you, guys. I know they watch these videos. Those who continue with this charade, there are consequences to that, because I know for a fact I put out there that I don't consent to what you guys are doing. Because if I make these videos and I put it out there for free and people click on it to enjoy, and you're going behind and unsubbing and taking it upon yourself to break off that connection, you're violating both our free will. So there are consequences that come with that. You may think you got away with it or getting away with it, but reality is going to show you another thing or two or three or four or five or six. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Thank y'all so much. And please, please, if you haven't seen any of my videos in a few weeks or whatever, please go and watch those videos. All those videos are connected to everything that is happening now. You guys have to pay close attention to not just what I say, but the images as well. What you may not get consciously will be gotten subconsciously, or your higher self will get it. All right? Thank you guys so much. See you guys the next time around. Take care. Measurable love always.